Connor, the 10 Commandments, Louisiana Senate?
Louisiana State Legislature.
Talk to
so here's the question. Do the 10 Commandments belong in public schools? This is our debate today. I want to take us back to June 1st when I at VT.com reported on 2 stories within a few days of each other. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry signed a bill into effect in June requiring every public school classroom in the state to display a printout of the 10 Commandments, the first legislation of its kind passed since the United States Supreme Court ordered the tenets removed in 1980. Under the Republican-backed House Bill 71, Louisiana public schools must hang a poster-sized display of the 10 Commandments in, quote, large, easily readable font in all classrooms, from kindergarten all the way up to state-funded universities. According to the legislation, the text of the commandments should be accompanied by a 4-paragraph context statement explaining that the biblical directives were, quote, a prominent part of American public education for almost 3 centuries. It further provision that no school district funds are to be spent on it. They are to be made by volunteers and provided by people who solicit donations. The school is to take up a collection to put them in. No taxpayer money is meant to be spent on this. That's an important note that we can talk on a little bit later. House Bill 71 also authorized but does not mandate that K-12 classrooms should display copies of the Mayflower Compact, the Declaration of Independence, and the Northwest Ordinance as equally important historical documents. Ahead of the signing, Governor Landry touted the legislation and seemed to fully expect lawsuits against it, saying, quote, I'm going home to sign a bill that places the 10 Commandments in public school classrooms, and I can't wait to be sued. So that happened in June. The bill was set to take effect January 1st, 2025, requiring all public schools, like I said, from preschool all the way up through state-funded colleges and universities to display the 10 Commandments in every classroom. On Tuesday, a state judge struck that down on constitutional grounds. VTnews.ai has a summary for us. A federal judge has ruled unconstitutional a Louisiana law requiring the display of the 10 Commandments in all public school classrooms, citing violations of the First Amendment and U.S. Supreme Court precedent. U.S. District Judge John DeGravalis noted that the law could coerce students into adopting a specific religious view as they are a captive audience for extended periods. So I want to open it up to the discussion. I have the relevant text, the 10 Commandments, the First Amendment. Let's get into all that. But I want to start off by hearing your thoughts. What do you guys think? Is this a good thing? Is this government overreach? Let's discuss.
First of all, I love it. I feel like we're at a wedding and Connor's the wedding singer. I have the mic and you'll listen.
I love it. I love it.
I'll say it's half sarcastically good. Now take out all of the pride flags, all of the BLM flags. Take them all out.
That's what I was going to say.
And if it's and if they get to stay and that's not considered to be some form of ideology, then this gets to stay. Nobody's forcing you to read it.
I love that you. That's where I was going, and I was also going to say 2 things. If you don't like the school that wants to do it, then put your kids in another school, number 1. Number 2, I just want to question, what is, as a Christian, and I get it, if you're not a Christian, it'd probably be like, oh, why do I have to read it? What is wrong with saying, don't kill?
Let's throw this graphic up. Read the commandments.
Go ahead. Let me read it.
Humberto might freak out because these aren't the Catholic 10 Commandments. These are the Protestant 10
Wrong.
Commandments.
They're
But
wrong.
this is exactly
No,
how
but then we're going to have a fight. We're going to have a fight. Which commandments are we going to put up?
Well,
okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Don't kill the messenger.
Yeah, this is exactly what it says according to the bill. Number 1, I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt have no gods before me. Number 2, don't make any graven images. That's the one the Catholics don't have. Number 3, thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. Number 4, remember the Sabbath day. Number 5, honor thy father and mother. Number 6, thou shalt not kill. 7, don't commit adultery. 8, thou shalt not steal. 9, thou shalt not bear false witness, aka lie or give false testimony. 10, don't covet.
Hey, you know what? Get that positive way of living out of my school. What? How dare you tell me to be a good person? How dare you remind me not to steal, kill, sleep with my neighbor's wife, and love God?
Vinny,
what the hell's wrong with these people?
For those students that identify as they, them, who are involved in polyamorous relationships, they're obviously going to have a problem with number 7.
I get it. Okay, I get it. I get it.
But the bottom line is, a few of them are overtly religious. First of all, America was founded on certain religious values, certain religious principles. If you don't like them, there are plenty of other countries in this world in which to live.
I'll pay for your ticket.
And secondly, I'm not having a double standard here. I would sooner tolerate this and ban the pride flag than authorize both or ban both. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Yeah. And the bottom line is, you don't have to read it and you don't have to believe it just because it's up on the wall. Someone's going to say that's the same with the pride flag. True. Until you sit there and start indoctrinating the kids and saying, what are your pronouns? Then you just brought that in. It's no longer a question of seeing the flag. Now you're interrogating me on that.
Well, Viva, on that
in
point.
media and everything else, when it comes to religion, I mean, our society's very much become devoid of it anywhere. So, I mean, it's interesting. In Australia, we're a pretty godless society in Australia.
Godless and gunless, which is a horrible,
godless and gunless.
horrible combination.
It's a terrible combination. But what I will say is I went to both a Catholic private high school. I also went to a public school. Even within the public schooling system, they still offer religious education, like teaching Christianity. Now, you can have your parents write in saying that they don't want you to be able to participate. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People can practice their religious freedom. However, there's nothing wrong with offering the option and having that as like the default setting. And then from there, people can opt out if they don't resonate with it. Why can't they just do that?
Yeah, but still, like Connor's making a joke about it, but this is actually a contentious issue between Catholics and Protestants. And for example, if I saw the Protestant ones up, I'd be like, I'm not cool with that, because in the commandment about idols. Protestants they claim that we Catholics worship idols, like
the Rosary, Mary, like
Mary
all of
of
that
God
stuff,
and whatever. And I find that offensive. So we need to come to an agreement and see which ones we're gonna put up. I don't know what the numbers are. I know America is culturally Protestant, but it could be contentious. And we're gonna end up with a situation of the LGBT flag that they started with the one with the collars, the line.
It's gonna be the like 30 commandments.
Yeah,
like,
and
just
we're gonna have
let's go through a quick little collage on that point, because when good religion is taken out of society, bad religion will take its place. Here's a quick compilation of the bad religion that has replaced America's Christian foundation. Here's a pride flag and a Black Lives Matter flag in a school classroom. We've already discussed this.
Is it still controversial to say all lives matter, or I dare say white lives matter?
You're not allowed.
Okay.
The whole thing died out. Dude, what a gimmick.
Did you
George Soros and by the girl that was running it, millionaire, bought everybody houses. Her brother got 200 grand. It's like, what a shit show scam.
I was always in the No Life Matter team. Like,
nobody cares. But did anybody here post a black square anywhere?
On Blackout Tuesday?
Rob?
No,
Absolutely.
Rob,
No, I honestly don't even know what any of those mean. And half the time I see them, I get confused. I go, do I support this? Do I not? I don't know what it means.
I support the current thing. All right,
look, man, you want to keep your religion out of our public institutions. How about you keep your public institutions out of our religion?
Show this one.
How many churches we got with pride flags flying around?
Is it real?
Yeah, this is real.
Of course it's real.
I saw a sign that credibly suggested Jesus was trans, and I almost feel.
I saw one guy. I saw a guy.
I feel
Jesus
bad.
was trans.
I feel
Shut
bad
up.
even repeating the stupidity because it's such a freaking blasphemy. But it's just seeing these pastors coming out and saying all of a sudden this is what we tolerate. It bastardizes religion.
Oh, Don
bringing
Lemon.
bad religion into good religion.
You can
Lemon.
disagree with it if you want, but that's what it says. It says God created them male and female, and there's no option to switch between them, and there's no third category.
No, and
so if
Don
you don't
Lemon.
like that, then that's fine, but then you're not teaching Christian theology if you say something else.
Don Lemon was joking.
Third point.
One guy about Jesus might be being gay, and they were laughing, and it was not funny. But go ahead.
Well, you guys are probably familiar with this one. Here's the White House. This was the infamous incident in which we got
Show
tranny
this one,
tits on
Jeremy.
the White House lawn.
There you go.
Can we see the tranny boobies, please?
Unfortunately, no.
By the way, this is the most oppressed group on earth. Has their flag front and center in the middle of two American flags at the White House. That's not
Disgusting.
oppression. That's conquering.
in a way that almost was allegedly in violation of flag code, potentially.
It is.
So,
Holy.
whatever. Well, this is what you do when
He
you
did
conquer.
say flag code, just so let everybody know that. He said
That
there was
L
an
was doing a lot of work in that sentence.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the problem. And when these things take the place of religion, at least I would argue, you get worse in all your institutions. Everywhere the pride flag has replaced a poster of the 10 Commandments, institutions have gotten worse. Church has gotten worse, government's gotten worse, school has gotten worse. So
there was literally anal sex in the Senate, the video of it recently, and it's not even the anal sex part that is the most. It's just the lewd, lascivious behavior in the walls of that institution. But it certainly doesn't help that it was.
That you should have seen how mad Rob was, because Rob watched the whole video and then called me and was like, "Dude, they're having sex. Men are having sex in this." Rob was devastated.
And it was hard to explain to my wife. I'm like, this is show prep. I don't want to watch this.
Babe, I have to watch it for notes.
Yeah, but to Humberto's point about how, there's all this potential fighting over which version of the commandments do you display. The American religious tradition is Protestant, and it is not being presented as a religious text on the walls of a classroom. It's being presented as a historical document that was the foundation of our legal system. That's why the bill encourages display the Northwest Ordinance, the Declaration of Independence.
What is the Northwest Ordinance for anybody else out there who might not know what it is?
I'm forgetting exactly what year it was. Fill it in while I Google it to give us exact details on it. It was an early declaration right after.
Sorry, I was I'm not necessarily the most religiously or historically educated person on earth.
To Connor's point, and I said it, culturally, it would be fitting to have the Protestant commandments because this country means something, and it was founded, especially the legal system, was founded on those commandments. So I think it's a very important legal document, and it gives it really extra spicy FU to these guys that have been terrorizing us for the past 4 or 5 years just to have it up there in the wall.
Do it.
The lady with the blue hair. She will have great contrast with the commandments. I will love it. I will go back to high school just to see it for one day.
Yeah, but the Northwest Ordinance was from 1787. It created the Northwest Territory and was the first act of confederation of the United States. So an essential document. The Mayflower Compact was what the Pilgrims signed, declaring that they were allegiant to God and to England. Then what was the other thing? The Declaration of Independence. These are all critical historical documents that form the foundation of our government. So it's not meant to be religious pressure of, if we put up the commandments, you must immediately convert to some sort of Judeo-Christian background. The point is, our legal system was based on the understanding of these 10 commandments.
Yeah.
And for people to dispute that is kind of ridiculous. But the First Amendment argument, if we can throw up
pull this up there?
If you're, of course, familiar with the First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Last time I checked, the Louisiana state legislature is not Congress, so this law isn't really necessarily a constitutional issue to begin with. But it also does neither of those things. It does not establish a religion, and it does not prohibit the free exercise thereof. So for a judge to strike it down over constitutional grounds, again, doesn't make much sense, but we've so thoroughly driven any semblance of religion out of school. And Amy, you were talking about how, when you grew up, there was the option to opt in or opt out with these things. Mm-hmm. You don't even have that option in the U.S. There's no prayer, and atheism is basically taught as the default.
Yeah.
Way back to the Scopes monkey trial in the early 1900s that overturned teaching creationism in schools and established evolution as the primary theory. You should be able to teach those side by side as equally legitimate forms of seeing the universe.
Yeah.
It's those are the two leading theories of how life on Earth originated. So to throw out one and say, no, it must be evolution, doesn't really even make sense.
Yeah. Especially in an education environment where the point should be learning about these things and getting a better understanding of them so you can make your own informed opinion. And isn't it just crazy that Australia, a country that really, like I said, it's a kind of a godless society, by comparison to America, upon which many of its values, the legal system, like you mentioned, are founded upon these things, and still in Australia, it's the default to learn and you can opt out, but not here. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense. And that's the thing. Connor, good point. I'm willing to give you guys the W on the commandments and go because that's what America is about. It's based on those principles. And tradition means something. And we're
a Christian nation. And guess what? You live in a Christian nation. We respect everybody else's religion. But like you said, if you don't like it, go to another school. And nobody's grabbing your head, shoving it in front of the 10 Commandments and going, look at this and follow.
Like they did with other things.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I'll just take it the other way. That if that's what the precedent is going to be, then get the flags out, get all of the non-secular indoctrination out, and go back to just teaching basic biology, boys are boys, girls are girls, and basic math, and none of it's
go
racist.
back to giving teachers apples. They're getting too. I mean, it's funny that I say it, but they're getting too heavy. I think kids have been bringing donuts to the teachers.
Oh, they get. What do you mean? Everybody that brings food, it's like a thing of Krispy Kreme. It's like 2 dozen donuts.
And as you know, an apple a day also keeps the doctor away. So you help your teacher defeat Big Pharma by giving them an apple in the class.
See what he did
so
right there?
See how it all ties together? This is how we're going to save America, people. But if
One
you,
apple
if you
at a
object
time.
to the 10 Commandments in a classroom more than you object to gay porn in the classroom,
Yep.
your priorities are completely out of line, and that's a problem with you that you need to figure out. So I'm all for it. I think it's terrible that this was struck down in Louisiana. This has the potential to go all the way to the Supreme Court because the Republican-controlled state government is promising to fight it. This might be a precedent-setting case if it goes all the way to the Supreme Court, but
Good.
I have no reason to hold out hope that they're going to uphold it.
Well,
But
Well, I hope
regardless,
so.
Great story.
live by the
Con.
10 Commandments.
Well,
They're
speaking
good.
of gay porn, Amy.
Right, my favorite. My favorite.
That segue does not even make sense.
doesn't make
with
any
this story
sense.
That I'm
Speaking of
about-
gay porn,
Guys, I
Amy.
do not participate
No,
in any gay sex.
I didn't read the
okay?
story yet.
I-
Amy, I was gonna say, speaking of gay
Well,
porn,
that explains
feminist.
that explains the text Amy sent me earlier today.
What the
I didn't know
hell
what
is
the hell
that
that was about.
So if you like this clip, click right here, and if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.